Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you. My name is Keanu. I'm currently here in Germany. Some would name me as director, filmmaker, editor, whatever you want to name it. And yeah, I'm talking today about how we could create the future using the Red Giant tools. And yeah, it's actually my first presentation in my life with the audience and talking about this theme. So I read on the internet it's good to start with a funny intro slide, engaging entry to gain attention and fun. So that's the one. Um, don't believe everything on the internet. I'll give you a quick overview. First of all, who am, where do I come from? How did I manage to be here today? And also my workflows creating augmented reality content, which actually got me the attention to Maxon to be here today, and implementing the power of the Red Giant and Universe tools into my After Effects workflow, and also how do I get more exposure as a creator. I think it's very important. I hope we can touch on it if the time is fitting, because every creator should use or can use social media to land new clients, to land your dream clients, get more exposure, and work from anywhere in the world. So yeah, just want to touch on that. First of all, just gonna show a quick show reel.
I love creating without a plan.
So yeah, that's some of the pieces. um, yeah, I've had a lot of fun creating them. Some of them are some client projects I worked on, and some of them are
I
just some
love
content pieces I worked on for my personal brand. So some would name me a VFX artist or editor, but I'm also doing a lot of DOP work, and actually I'm a camera operator, do a lot of camera work, and also had a lot of jobs directing bigger projects. So I think this entire thing could make it possible, and I want to share all this knowledge as a content creator. So some would say I'm an influencer or content creator, but all these different views, I think they make everything special. And if you understand all the different departments, it makes the entire production way easier and the outcome way better. So I haven't managed to create a job name including everything. So if you have anything, feel free to shout it out. And also, if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free just to give a hand. So you might ask yourself, how did this guy manage to stand up here today? Because I don't have the big clients like Apple or Tesla on my list yet. But through personal branding and social media, I actually got the exposure. Last year in November, I decided to start a personal brand because I want to work independently around the world for big clients. And I think I understood the importance of social media in the modern job market, because it kind of works like a CV. Because your dream job can get you by having a good portfolio or the exposure on social media. Especially we are all creating visual stuff, and why not use a platform? I think that's kind of the modern gallery for the modern artists and designers, which everyone in the world can 24/7 have access to, and you can showcase your work. It's I kind of quit my mindset to like, this is social media, I don't understand it, I don't want to do anything about it. Oh man, I have to do a story, I'm at the event, shit, what am I doing? So I kind of tried to switch that to make things possible. So I started with TikTok, which is completely new. In 1 year, I grew an audience of 74,000 followers plus, just by educational content, because I gave really like tutorials and insights and show how I make things. And I posted exactly the same content on Instagram, and it blew up even more. I got in 9 months 234 followers plus, 1,000 plus. So yeah, that was kind of insane to see. Like right now is a good time for educational and high quality content, and yeah, it can be a lot of fun. But let's pick on that later. So my passion for augmented reality content actually started years ago. I was really blown away by the idea of having animated frames, animated graphics in the real world space, and I think it's pretty cool. I like future stuff, and in film, I think we always have to predict or show scenarios or different scenes which could be the future. I think a lot of times films predicted how things actually go. I was pretty passionate about that, but no one wanted to see this at that point. Like that wasn't interesting for anyone. But it changed with the Apple Vision Pro launch this year, because right now they have actually built a product which could possibly create some HUD environment, some augmented reality environment, and so it does got a lot of attention. So yeah, right now is a good time, and I picked it up again to create some augmented reality content. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. You have seen some of them in my show reel. I really like to think crazy to see like of an SD card. How could a SD card look like when you wear some glasses or whatever? And yeah, how can we work maybe with tabs and like moving tabs and everything? And yeah, I really like the process, like directing on and breaking it down, like so you understand how I'm thinking and where Red Giant and Universe comes in there to like create some future videos. Yes, so 2 months ago, Maxon approached me with a challenge to, they see my content, they're like, oh guy, that looks not too bad. What do you think about using Red Giant or Universe? I was like, I haven't used it before. Let's try it. The talk is in 2 months, and yeah, that was the journey till here. So I started, of course, downloading it and watching the YouTube tutorials to get some insights and going through the program for the first time. And yeah, I thought this program, like Red Giant Universe, is only for like VFX professionals, and I didn't feel like one, so I didn't pick it up till then. But it's actually super easy to use. It's an easy UI which you can really fast use to, and which is fun and makes things easier and definitely more high quality. So my journey began with choosing the right effects and functions to enhance my workflows and the video quality in general. And yeah, I was really amazed by the variety and the quality of all these effects, and it felt like a new world open. You know, when you like first decided to learn a new program, that's pretty cool because it's everything in After Effects, which is already like my environment where I feel comfortable in. But in there is like an extension, which is really cool to discover. And yeah, and then I integrated in my workflows, and to break down my workflow now for creating these augmented reality content pieces in general is first, of course, scripting, where I just think of scenarios that could actually exist. So just when I walk down the street or have any device in my hand, I just think of existing or potentially existing scenarios. Then I script the camera and hand movements to match natural movement. So yeah, it's like you really have to think about where to press the button and how to use a slider and where they actually could be in 3D space. And yeah, and I roughly designed the HUD elements either in my head or I'll scribble them down. Depends on the time in the project. And yeah, and after that, it's pretty easy. You just look stupid in public because you're sitting right here in the coffee and you're like taking a video where you just tap into the air, like people look actually weird at you. Yeah, I think it looks funny. And if you see, there's like one guy here in the back. Yeah, like I don't know if you can see it. They all look at you like that. So sometimes I rigged it to my body. I tried that. Sometimes I just do it handheld, where I have like one arm with the camera and one arm. It's just doing the performance. Yeah, I haven't got the GoPro from GoPro yet, so shout out if you see it, GoPro. Just send me one with a mouth mount. That would be awesome. Yeah, and then I just try to act natural to like match the timing, because these videos, they have to be really quick, but at the same time, you have to click a button and like wait a second for the actual animation to happen. So it's with time you get used a little bit to the timing, and you get a feeling. Then in the edit you see, okay, that was a little bit too fast. They could be a little bit quicker, and then either you reshoot it or you just fix it in post. So. Then the tracking process begins, and it's always different to track. We have the free trackers in After Effects, which is the track the motion, which I sometimes do with the SD card example. I just track my SD card at a certain point when I just track it to a certain motion. Or the 3D tracker, which works pretty good for placing stuff in 3D space elements, or with Mocha. I think they all have their specific needs, and they all have like specific usage for different scenarios. So with time, you just get a feeling for, okay, how do I shoot this and how I'm going to track them afterwards. And right there is like, it's really important to have a high shutter. Even when I record with my phone, I just go for a high shutter, so you can like really track the motion, or like really rotoscope an arm or something to compose it later. Because if you have the natural motion blur, it's going to be really hard to track or to rotoscope. So this one, keep in mind, because afterwards you can add motion blur to the rotoscope or to the masked arm, for example. Yeah. So and from there I'm creating HUD elements. Sometimes I just create them by myself in Photoshop. Playing around there. It's pretty cool to have the bridge there, to have the Photoshop file actually in After Effects, making the changes in Photoshop, and it's directly applied to the file in After Effects. And sometimes I just get inspired by the UI of Apple, for example, when I have like the keys. It would not make no sense to rebuild them, so I just screen record certain parts where I like type in here, for example, type in the same word as I'm animating in the video. So yeah, just screen record it and just mask it out, and yeah, change the blending mode, and there you go. You have a nice UI, and I really like this these outlines and round edges. I'm in love with that. I think that looks pretty cool. And from creating the HUD elements, we can go on to bringing the graphics to life by placing them in 3D space and then animating them, keyframe the motion, and creating the illusion to the graphics actually reacting to the motions I perform. So yeah, that's pretty fun to first of all placing the solids, and then playing in 3D space and animating the different HUD elements to actually move. And that's a pretty fun part, because then you see your animations and your video come to life. And yeah, it's pretty cool because you can actually make it fit perfectly. It's like really this detailed work and the keyframing. I think with everything, every animator knows that. For like the smoothing, the easing, it's really important to create a cool illusion. And yes, and then it's the compositing, where also Red Giant is like really good at to make this process better. Here on the rotoscope for my hand, arm, etc. Applying optical glow to make the HUD elements more pop and look more integrated into the real world, and also adding lens distortion to make the things look really shot on one camera, on one lens. And yeah, soft edges, vignetting, where we touch on later, and implementing color grading. And this, especially compositing process, was really enhanced by using the Red Giant product. Yes, so, and also like the camera shake and the zooms, and yeah, it's really important to have their one tool where you just can have one UI and have all the effects as quick as possible, not just create adjustment layer on adjustment layer keep things structured. It takes a lot of time. Yeah, and at the end, of course, every animation needs sound design, because otherwise you won't sell the animation, you won't sell the feeling of actually that the graphics and the animations happen in the real world. And then you have a cool video. So that's actually my steps, pretty easy. And yeah, so from there on, I wanted to improve my quality. That was my existing workflow, and yeah. the challenge that I faced was actually to the high quality compositing, because I'm not a crazy VFX artist who has super power in compositing. So yeah, I have to think about my own ideas. So what do I add for the compositing which could improve it? So I had to figure out lens distortion. I had to figure out soft edges. I have to figure out how to color grade and integrate everything. And yeah, there was a lot of steps, and it required to create loads of adjustment layers with effects I just mentioned. And yeah, using Magic Bullet Looks, which is in the Red Giant suite, yeah, makes it really easy to access everything. And to showcase a little example, we go here into After Effects. So here we are. We have like a simple example where I just tracked some, just some 2D elements. We have a text, and on top we have our hand, which I rotoscoped. So it's actually creating the illusion of a 3D space, and we just have the grid to see how everything works in 3D space. And yeah, so the old me just created every time a new adjustment layer, adding lumetri color, adding lens effects, whatever. And the new me just needs one adjustment layer, and yeah, just apply the effect looks. And here on the edit tab, we can just click on it, and it's going to open up the window. And here we have our tools. And right now, it's going to show me everything which I can change inside of Magic Bullet Looks. So it's super cool. So with one click, I actually can add a glow, an optical diffusion, which is super cool. And you have presets like different filters, which can be really cool if you want to have this promised look or make everything just fit together to route things up. It's really powerful, and that just with one click applied to your whole video, it's awesome. And same with tools, you can add chromatic aberration, you can add a lens vignette. Just with a couple of clicks, you can add all these effects in here. And for example, we can also add some edge softness, what I really like to keep the focus centered. And in here, we can click on a single effect and yeah, change the strength. So when we want less strength, we can choose presets, as I mentioned. You can change the center. And this is really helpful because first of all, you get new ideas what you potentially could add, or if you want to add anamorphic flares. Yeah, that's like it's really inspirational to play around with and to get new ideas. And on the other hand, it's super quick to access because you see, it's like just a couple of clicks, and that makes it really interesting to play around, because if you have to create all of them manually, it's going to be, you have to add them. It's a lot of work involved, so it might not be that fun. So with this tool, it's super fun to play around, and it makes compositing way easier. Yes, and the second, which I played around with a lot, is, before I had to create complex compositings as well, but more in detail to different layers, because the timeline is exploding at some point, and you have like so many hands that you mask out. You have the background because you want to blur it. You have, just different parts in your composition, which can make it really hard to have in this really small window down here, especially when you're working on a laptop. So so I played around with SuperComp, and SuperComp can easily create natural light, atmospheric effects, and interact with all the layers you drag in there, which is awesome. So we go on the SuperComp example. We have right here, we just stick to that example. I just applied the SuperComp here, VFX SuperComp. We can open a panel in the effects control, and in here, I just dragged in the layers. Yes, and now we can actually see every single layer, which is awesome. I really like the design and how easy you can access. And on the plus, we can have this cool option, for example, to add a layer glow. And now we just added with one click. We see here in the live preview what we have added, the layer glow effect, and we can just crank down the amount and make it fit to our needs. And with that, you can easily add effects to every single layer, and you have awesome options. You can do a light wrap, which integrates it more, which makes compositing way easier and more fun. And yeah, some different variations you can create, and this, I think it's a pretty cool additional effect to the magic bullet looks. First, I would just do the super comp and then use the magic looks. But yeah, whatever you prefer. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to play around with that, to see how things can change. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Super comp, definitely recommended, and yeah, upgraded my workflow. And the next problem I faced was adapting new features and replacing old workflows, because it's like when you have done a lot of edits and you've done the same step over and over again, it just feels natural and you just keep doing it. So it was fun to remind myself, oh no, there's an easier way, let's just do it like that, and within a couple of hours you integrated a new workflow, and you actually save a lot of time on the long run. Same when you first start like the keyboard shortcuts. It's like on the long run it saves you a lot of time. Yes, and I used a lot the native glow effect because I didn't had any other option. And if you wonder, the glow effect creates a glow. So yeah, nothing crazy about that, but it's actually the inbuilt After Effects glow effect is not that precise and high quality than the option optical glow, which Maxon offers. And in here we can have a good example. So I created the comp, and we have our out example. Yes, so here and here. So we see I just created this this text in 3D space, and yeah, it looks really like there's actually it doesn't look really integrated. And by adding the glow effect here, which is the optical glow, it just feels more natural, and it just feels more like an animation. I think it's a whole new world to play around with. You can increase the amount, and also what I really like to play around is like creating signs. So here on the bottom, that doesn't look really nice. It doesn't look really integrated into the frame, but I really like the outline effect, or maybe show a neon sign if you have a dark wall or something. And just with one effect, just applying the optical glow, I think it looks so much better, and it actually looks integrated into the frame. It's really cool to play around with. You can do so much with it, and yeah, it was definitely really worth to switch from the organic one in After Effects just to the one from Maxon. Yeah, I love that one. And next up we have realistic 3D light, also for maybe if you want to recreate sunshine, if you want to, yeah, if you play with HUD elements, there is a glow and there's also a shine. But shine was hard for me to recreate because it don't work in any 3D software. Working in After Effects, which is limited to that. So having actually the trap code shine, yeah, you can craft high quality, lifelike 3D shine effect like sunlight. For titles, it's really nice. For HUD effects, here we see an example like you recreate fog shine, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I just used it for currently used it for creating some for text, and yeah, having here the option. Yeah, I pre-composed, so I duplicated the camera here because the text was a 3D object before, tracked on a 3D camera, and you should better apply it to a 2D object. So I copied the camera and put it in one pre-comp with the font, with the 3D text. So it's a 2D layer, but has the same data to float in 3D space and stick to the same movement of the camera, which I copied. And with the 2D layer, I can easily apply the effect shine. It's trap code shine, and in here I can change the color of the shine. I have all the options you can possibly think of. You can change the ray. You can boost the light and make it stronger. And I really liked animating the actually source point. And with that, you can create so cool effects. It can also be really cool for title intros, but having the option to maybe you see how it actually reacts. I didn't animate it anything, so there's no keyframing, nothing involved, and you have like the shine effect going on, which is pretty cool. It's just like it took me like 5 seconds. Yeah, if you lose if you lose the bar from Video Copilot, it's like 5 seconds. Yeah, and that's pretty cool. I think there's a lot more to discover, and there's so many options, so many functions you can tweak and make fit to your needs. Yeah, that's just one more tool which makes it way easier, and I had like literally no idea how I'm going to create this just using After Effects without Red Giant or Universe. It's like, I don't know, just don't know. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And next one is the displacement map. I was asking myself a lot about these cool transitions where you go like through a window or something, and you have like some displacement going on. And yeah, do you have a native displacement map in After Effects? But yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel really fun to work with. It hadn't be like such good high quality results, so I didn't keep playing around with it. And using the displacement map with the chromatic displacement by Maxon, it's just amazing. You probably all of you have seen like these cool bus waves at some point. They were like going viral, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago, 4 or 5, I think it's even more. I think with Eduardo OV also, he's like creating these cool bus waves. Yeah, I love them, so I recreated them myself too. It was the first time playing around with it, and you see like it's such a high quality displacement. It's just fun to play around with, and yeah, rethink these structures. And yeah, not just that. It's like for this effect, I pretty much just created a shape, a round shape with a hole in it, and just added some blur, so it's not hard, no hard edges, and actually use this as a displacement map for the layer below. And yeah, that's it. And if I animate it, the one in 3D space, it's gonna create a really cool displacement. And another option which I mentioned before was actually the transition. So I actually have the base layer here. This is just the video. There. So that's just the video you've seen in the intro. And are you gonna scale it bigger? Close that bad boy. So, and yeah, that's just the video. And here on the video, I just added the chromatic displacement effect. One click again. And I also created this displacement map, also using Red Giant turbulent noise, which is pretty cool. This is turbulent noise, where you can create different types of turbulent noise, which you can really cool use for in cooperation with effects like the chromatic displacement. It's a lot of fun to have a structure, like an organic structure, which moves without keyframing. So in here, for that noise, I did not keyframe anything. It's all natural. It's all made by the Maxon plugin. So yeah, that's the turbulent noise. You have different types, different presets you can already choose from, and you can just apply them here on your solid. Just create a solid, apply the effect, apply the preset, and in here you can change the complexity to whatever you want. So, for example, if you want to recreate some raindrops or something, you can just do it quick and easy with turbulent noise. You use this layer as a displacement map, so we can hide it, activate our top layer again, and in here, I just put down the displacement amount to 0, and then it just looks like that. If you crank up the displacement amount here, keyframe that to 430, and I choose a displacement map to the actually map to take where the displacement comes from. It's just going to create some really cool chromatic displacement, which I didn't create a transition here, but you can imagine, like when you put that or track that on a window, or just recreate a window, it's super nice to have the option to create the illusion of going through something, or use it as a displacement map, for example, to show bass waves, or there's a lot of examples in VFX for creating energy fields or something. It's a lot of fun, and it's high quality high quality outcome it's gonna generate you. So yeah, that's really cool. And next up, we have the camera shake. So I shot a lot of things with my tripod just for easy compositing, so I don't have to track, or I just shoot by myself, reels on myself. So, but I always used some presets from the internet. Cinecom has some really popular ones, but I couldn't tweak them to my needs. And yeah, so we have a solution which is called, here it comes, camera shake. And here you just apply the effect and
Cut Pro
on.
After Effects.
This is a video of me doing an ad, and I composed everything together. So first of all, we start in a scenario. We have the HUD elements flying around. We go into a folder, and yeah, it looks pretty lame. So watching this for like 1 minute, it's like no camera movement, and also the animation at the beginning, it looks not too shaky. It looks really organic, and yeah. So we add camera shake, and just by playing the camera shake without any changes, it looks something like this, which is definitely more interesting, but can be a little bit wild and hard to watch. But here's the good thing: you can tweak the settings to your likes. So you can really go in and tell, okay, I want a 50% shake amount instead of 100, and the frequency we lower 0.5 as well. And from here on, we have a natural shake, which is super cool, and which sells the animation, which brings it to life. I think it's the details that actually sell the video at the end. It's all these small tweaks, and you cannot really tell. Like someone who is not into video editing won't tell that there's a camera shake, and in the other video is no camera shake, but they will feel different when watching it, definitely. And I think that's our art, to do these small tweaks that the customer or the viewers, the viewers actually doesn't see but feel. So yeah, that helped a lot. And also, yeah, I forgot, there's a lot of, when you open up the dashboard, and you have the camera shake, and you have a lot of presets as well. So everything I was just talking about, we have presets already created. So here we have a boat. So your camera is going to move like on a boat, which is pretty cool. You have a car mount. You have an earthquake. Maybe you need an earthquake shake. So you have it right there. You have an iPhone running, shaky cam. Yeah, and then you can tweak it in the effect control to your needs. So that's pretty cool. Makes it easy to create camera shake, and I know it's an easy thing, but in the end, it's really important. And from there on, we go. Yeah, that's a camera shake. So yeah, just skip that one, what I've just explained. Yeah, and then I was really excited to just explore new stuff. For example, the metrics kind of like they just, I don't know, is it new? The symbol mapper, for me it's new, where you can actually, you can recreate the footage in numbers, letters, whatever you want to create. And I'm really excited. I didn't play around with that yet, but I think it's pretty cool to have an effect which can actually recreate your footage. So something like that. This was just one click, and you see the highlights and the darker parts. They just got into numbers, and you have this smarter style effect. I'm really excited to play around with that. I think you can create some pretty dope stuff if you rotoscope certain parts, and you maybe use a symbol mapper on that. And yeah, you tweak around with the settings there. But yeah, I'm really excited to play around with that in the future. And also Trapcode Particular for sure. Super excited to bring my animations to the next level using Trapcode Particular. I had just had 2 months, and yeah, that was pretty much all the effects that I used, and I used the most, that I played the most around with. And yeah, and having the option with Particular also to create maybe something flying from the table, going up in the air, and you catch it or something. It's just, before I had to search for certain overlays which exactly fit the motion of the final product I want to have, and that's almost impossible if you create custom videos. Yeah, with Particular, it's super cool to create fire, to create particles, to just with the designer just to create some custom, really organic and high quality particles. Yeah, so I'm excited to play around, to keep playing around with it. Yeah, that was quite the 2 months. I hope you've learned something from that. Yeah, Trapcode particularly is awesome. And yeah, all the other features. Yeah, it was really exciting and a lot of fun, definitely. And it definitely increased my video quality in general. And yeah, I'm really happy I could show you all this stuff. So yeah, okay, now you're a crazy skilled editor after watching my content and tutorials. You have the best tools with Maxon, perfect. But how can I start working with my dream clients and like make a living or get some exposure for my work? And yeah, the answer is actually building a personal brand. It's never been easier to showcase your work, to showcase your portfolio to the entire world. It's never been easier. And the benefits are definitely, and by building a personal brand, it doesn't have to be your face. You can just build it around your name. You can create a 3D character who's actually explaining the tutorials. Like, people's gonna love it. If you are into VFX, you just create a character once. There's videos out there, and you can shoot 24/7 content. If you just script it, you give it to your character, and just gonna explain your content, and you have like a character created. So it doesn't have to be you. It's just a personal brand, and the benefits are definitely owning your own distribution. That's really a superpower. You can either sell products, your own products, like presets or LUTs or whatever, or help others to sell theirs. So you kind of work like an influencer, but you build an audience around a specific theme, and you have the power to work then with big clients or sell your own stuff. And that's amazing, because we haven't had the power before, and it's just cool. And the modern resume is also pretty cool. When you are a CG artist, when you do VFX, when you do videos, and you have a good portfolio and you understand the platform, social media, which our content is, I think, used a lot for, and we have the understanding as a creator. It's pretty interesting for the brands. For any brand, I hit the 240K on Instagram, and I have tutorials and everything on it. So if I want to work somewhere, they're just gonna check out my Instagram. They're like, oh yeah, you're cool. You have 240,000 followers. It's like that, and they see some content, and it makes stuff so much easier than when I have the same skills but just having 2,000 followers. It's stupid, but it works, and it's a lot of fun. So it can be fun. It doesn't have to be cringe. It doesn't have to be like dancing around on TikTok. We decide, we are the audience, and we decide what content is gonna be on their platform. And yeah, and if we want to have a shift, so we have to create better content, and don't let the dance videos be the only ones on the platform. So you have it; it's your decision. And yeah, another one. Yeah, you can work with big players. In the past 5 months, I did a contest with Artlist. I'm now working with Artlist almost daily with Motion Array. I'm here today. Maxon is the best example. I work with Adobe right there. So it's pretty cool to have the option to work with the big players. And yeah, I had no idea how to do it before, because just doing cool videos is not enough nowadays, because they're all interested in more followers. They don't know how to grow an audience on the platform, because the companies now understand it's important to own your own distribution. And if you build it for yourself and actually know how to do it with good, high quality content, that's super powerful. And yeah, and also community building. It's cool to have a community, like-minded people to connect, to have, my vision is to create some, maybe around Discord or whatever platform to talk about themes, to give a shout out, and just see the industry comes together at a digital meeting point. And you are also, as editor, for example, or VFX artist, you have just global independence. You can work wherever you want. Like right there, you can work and do your animations if you don't need a mouse pad, your mouse or your keyboard. Yeah, like that's it. This is where you can work. That's all pretty cool benefits. So if you're interested in some of them, would be the question: how do you start as becoming a content creator? Do you have time? Okay. So first of all, you just start, because I wasn't ready when I started. I had no one to tell me what to do. There's never the right perfect. There's no perfect time. You just have to do it. You just have to start it. You put in the work, and you are still early. It's like we're still in the game. It's like the game is going on. We're still at the beginning of all of that. It's not gonna be less. So it's not a get rich quick game by any means. It's like you have to put in the work, and it requires eating a lot of dirt for years. Or maybe sometimes it goes faster, but it's better to have the long run in mind and don't think like you're just gonna hit like I have to go viral. No, it's about the long run. It's about understanding and developing yourself and your personal brand and you as an individual, as a creator, and overcoming the fear of others' opponents. It's always like what's this guy thinking? Like maybe it's your cousin. And you're scared of him judging you. Oh, he started social media. Well, like just this one person, just being scared of this one person is gonna. There's billions of people out there who might want to see your content and gonna agree with it because we're all a big community. So just because of this one guy, and also in our niche, like as I said, we can just create a character, just place it there as a brand and just build it around that. So it's fun to get creative around that, and don't attach yourself to metrics. It's always going to be a fight. It doesn't matter how many followers, it doesn't matter how many, if you go up your content, if your content goes down, you're gonna attach yourself to the metrics, and it's a running game, it's a mindset game where you have to just fight the metrics, just fuck the metrics. It doesn't matter, like really. If you don't, yes, there's some pieces going viral, they're just trash. Yeah, and we are, okay, some time. I'm trying to rush this through, we're almost there. And yes, so what was my steps? There are various paths, everyone's gonna tell you something different, but there was my approach, the learnings I've done in the past months. So first, yeah, there are many ways, and everyone's going to tell you something different. But first of all, I would create profiles on key platforms. Key platforms right now are Instagram, TikToks, Shorts, and maybe Snapchat, and maintain consistent across all platforms. So you have always the same profile picture, you have the same name, you have a bio, which makes sense, which includes maybe you as a personal brand and also what you're doing. So I'm Keanu, that's my name, personal, and visuals. I'm not doing photos, I'm not doing websites, I'm not doing only videos, I'm not doing only animations, I do visuals. So that's me. And then I have a clean profile across all platforms. Don't have to think about it again. Then choose short form content because it's really strong right now. That's why I say we are early. It's get pushed out every single day. It's a big chance of attracting new people. That's the short form content. And the 9x16 short form content you can just spread across all platforms. So you can just, this one content piece you can just post on all platforms. And from there on you see which platforms goes well. So first of all was TikTok, so I was leaning more into TikTok and trying to understand. It's really important to get different designers, different creators on the platform to watch their content, to see what they are doing, and then just just put your touch on it, and just try it. And then follow the growth path in general. Observe your content and what gains the most attraction. As soon as I get more attraction on Instagram, I just switched over to Instagram and leaned more into the platform because there's a different audience, different people, different content. So yeah, I'm still reposting on the other platforms, but leaning more into that. And from there on, dive into the platform culture, try to understand, try to engage. And you don't have to spend a lot of time on Instagram, really. Like being an influencer, I spend like max 20 minutes a day on Instagram, like max. Just also like getting inspiration or something. I'm just putting myself out, just inspiration, and that's it. I'm not consuming anything else. Like my algo is just people that really enjoy the content, they do like my stuff, and that's it. So yeah, and then start narrow and expand gradually. So begin focusing on the one platform, and if you build the audience there, you can decide how much that is. You can successfully go to the other platforms and just expand your reach through shorts, of course. But on the long form, so you start with shorts and then you go for long form for the long run. Because on short form, you're getting the people in, you gain attraction, but it's not short form is not going to bring you the big audience. It's like the long form videos where you then sit down and maybe do a 10 minutes detailed video. In my case, I just break down like really complex effects in like 60 seconds, explain it to the audience, and then the next step would be to have a YouTube channel where you have exactly the same effect and just do it in 10 minutes. Just breathe in between, do it calm, do it detailed, and you have recycled it. It's just like that. And finding a format is really cool. Like finding one format and doing this and keep doing it. Yeah, that's really important. And long form benefit is definitely like the audience you're really binding, and short form is definitely like because it performs well doing the algorithm. You get a viewer's attention. It's quick, and you create it quick. So it's different to create I mean, sometimes like a 5-second video can be really, really hard work, but in that case, it's easier than creating a long form for the editing. Learn from your niche peers, the ones that you're looking up, the content you like, the design and everything around it. Find your content style, and then just experiment and repeat. It's all about the consistency and just putting out the good content, because nowadays algorithm is going to push high quality. Yes, focus on giving your best and create high valuable content. Yes, and I have a podcast, my first podcast coming up. It's all about personal branding. If you're interested in that, keep your eyes open. I'm editing right now. It's gonna post it next week or something. Yeah, it's with RP Nixon. He's a pretty cool guy from the US, and he built like huge pages in Insta and socials. And yeah, the conclusion. Let's skip that. You guys won't remember 30% of what I've just said, like with everything. I just want to say, what you need to remember is embrace your unique story and keep in mind everything is possible. Almost everything, not everything. So yeah, let's create the future together. And yeah, thank you for your attention.